Well, there we go. We are live. Hello, 11th graders. Mr. Malaki here. Hope you all are doing well. Looks like we got 114 attendees. Solid start. Hope you all are enjoying this nice sunny day in Seattle, Washington. All right, we're going to get started here shortly. Starting time was 11:42 a.m. with an exclamation point. You have Miss Donato to thank you for that, and Miss Donato will share a little bit about herself today. But we just want to welcome you all. I think we're pretty close to capacity. I think this is pretty much all the 11th graders we have at Lincoln High School. We have a little more, but yeah, thank you all for being with us today. We got a lot of information to share with you. It's exciting information. The title of our presentation today is Almost Senior Year. I was just looking at the calendar yesterday with Miss Pacamper and Miss Donato, and I was looking and I was like, wow, we have 2.5 more months of school. That is wild. It is wild to think about. But 11th graders, you guys have done an amazing job. And we have a lot of information to share with you today. Lots and lots and lots to help you get ready. Things that you can do now to get ready for college, and then things you can do for the summer, a fall, winter. We're going to walk you through the process. This is a lot of information. Before we even start our presentation, I want to make sure that you all understand that you don't need to memorize any of this information. It will be available for you all. We're going to post it on our Schoology pages. We're also going to post it up on the main site. We're going to record it. We're also going to make sure that this is in a PDF form, so you can also, at your own pace, sort of walk you through the process. So you'll have different times in which you can access this presentation, so don't worry about it. This is just a one shot, and you're going to get some key takeaways at the ending of our presentation. But if you start to feel like, oh my gosh, this is too much, don't worry about that. Just take it day by day, season by season, and you will start the process, and you'll slowly do what you got to do to get ready for college and things like that. All right. Ms. Pacamper, am I missing something before we get started? Okay. All right. She's giving me a thumbs up. Okay. So let's get started. Ms. Donato, press record. Okay. So 11th graders, our conversation with you today is going to go over a few topics. Like I said in the beginning, we're going to go over the 12th grade important timelines and things that you can actually start now to get ready for college, but also some things you have to think about going into 12th grade. We're also going to go and talk to you about the college application process and information about that. And then we're going to have some information about Naviance and make sure you guys all understand the importance of Naviance. All right. And next. Great. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Let's start. Things that you can start to do now, right now, this day, this moment, right when you're done with this presentation, you can start it. All right. So things you can start doing now until June of next school year, when you start to hear the song. Da, 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 da. That'll be exciting. I can't wait for that moment for you all. All right. Next. Okay, so finishing 11th grade off strong, super duper important. Some important points I want you all to think about is, like I said, you have about 2.5 more months of school. This semester will be the last semester that will be on print in your transcripts in which you submit to the colleges that you want to apply to. We say this and we share this with you because it's super important to finish this semester off really, really strong. All right. It's gonna show colleges that you're like, oh, this is the kind of student I am. All right. And then also the other point is that it's just going to prepare you really nicely for 12th grade classes. All right. That need help. Some of you have been reaching out to us, doing a really great job of that. If you need help and you're finding yourself saying like, man, I'm stuck, I'm having a really hard time. Again, I'm going to share with you the secret sauce to school from now until you graduate from college. You know, if students struggle, you reach out to your teacher, your professor. They will give you a plan that you need to follow, and then students follow the plan. And then what will happen? Teachers and professors are natural helpers. They're going to help make sure that you get the best that you can out of that class. So super important. All right, reach out to your teachers, talk to them. Bash, don't forget, we have tutors at Lincoln that you can connect with. All right, reach out to Ms. Pentecost. You can go through the Schoology course, and you can reach out to her to attend different Bash sessions. All right, and then also create some study groups with your classmates. Another great point, and you'll do this from now until the ending of college. You know, it's always best to study with others. You're learning new information, to hear other people's perspectives, to share out yours, and that's just kind of how learning happens, where we're sharing each other's interpretation of what's been presented. And again, the last bullet point here to share out is if you're struggling, reach out to your counselor. We can come up with some plans. We can give you some suggestions. We can tell you what's possible, what's not possible. So yeah, let's just make sure academically we're trying our very best, finishing off this 11th grade year off strong. All right, here's something you can do right now after this presentation, getting ready for college. Here's what you can start to do. All right, start the colleges you want to apply to. Start searching for them, all right? And everybody's different. Just because you hear your friends saying, I'm going to go to University of Washington, I'm going to go to Western, I'm going to go to Wazoo, or, you know, everybody has different needs and different wants. Everybody has a different, what fits well for them. You know, everybody has a school, college for them. And it's important to investigate all the different types of schools that fit best, fit you best. When you start thinking about the colleges, it's really important to kind of evaluate, what do you want in a college or a university? You know, you might want small classes. You might want to major in a certain area that a certain university may not have. And so these are the things you're going to want to know about, so that the moment it's time for your first day of college, you're super excited, you're feeling confident about school. It's really important to do all of these investigative things before you start thinking about if a college is right for you. Something else you can start doing right now is to research the scholarships and their due dates that your preferred colleges you want to go to, what those due dates are. And the reason being is, let's say the University of Washington. If you want to go to the University of Washington, their due date is, I'm going to look at my cheat sheet here. I believe it's the last day to apply will be November, where did it go? November 15 for the 2021-2022 school year. So if you are a current senior, which you are not, your application date would be November 15. All right. Sometime before that, a lot of scholarships applications are going to be due. You're going to want to apply them. You're going to want to know all the different due dates that each university that you apply to, what those due dates are. Okay. Next. Okay, and another thing you want to do right now is you want to start thinking about who you want to ask to write you a letter of recommendation. A lot of universities have different requirements, and so you're going to want to know what your university that you want to apply to, what they require their applicants, or who they require their applicants to get recommendations from. And here's a typical sort of suggestion. You know, a lot of universities want you to have 1 to 3 teachers or counselors, a community member, and 1 important adult, a non-family member. All right. Again, these are sort of rough approximations, but it's really important to find out what that university you want to attend, what are their requirements as to who you need to get recommendation letters from. All right, next. Okay, summer between 11th and 12th grade. So coming at the ending of the school year, you're going to want to start a few things, all right? You're going to want to create a portal account in the Common App and Coalition for College portals, and also the different universities that have sort of application, the different applications portals you have to go to. Like for instance, Washington State University, you have to create an account with them in order to apply to that school. University of Washington uses the Coalition for College. So the reason being is why you want to get started on that is there's lots of just fill in the blank information, while you're in the summertime, while you don't have a lot of things going on, you want to spend all that time getting all the things like the classes that you've taken, all that information about, your address, things like that, all those fill in the blank, easy things that you can fill out that take up a lot of time. Spend this summer getting all of those accounts filled out. All right. In August, most applications are open for, applying for that college. So you want to just look into the college that you want to apply to, see what their deadlines are, because a lot of them start to open in August. Something you want to do over the summer is you also want to start thinking about the college you want to apply to. A lot of them will have essays you're going to have to write about yourself, about your experiences and things like that. You're going to want to find out what they require their applicants to write about, so that this summer you can start drafting up essays while you don't have any homework assignments. You can start drafting out your essays, start writing out your personal statements and things like that. Again, you can all do this while you have no coursework coming at you. All right. Summertime, this is also a really good time to get really familiar with each university's application process or admissions process. A lot of them, mostly all of them, have different requirements and different needs. And so during the summertime, you're going to want to get to know what each university requires out of all of their applicants. Okay. Some of them might just want one letter of recommendation. Some of them might want 3 or 4. Okay, so you want to make sure you understand fully what the admissions process is for the colleges you attend. All right, similar to this next bullet point, you want to just take note of the application deadlines. For instance, I mentioned University of Washington is November 15 is their final deadline. But Washington State University goes until March 22nd. So they're just different. And you're going to want to just make sure that you understand all of the requirements from all the colleges that you attend. Scholarships. This is another great time to start investigating all of the different scholarships available to you while you have summertime. You have a lot of time on your hands. Ms. Pacamper is going to talk a little bit more about scholarships and where to go and look to find them. But this is also another time that you can spend just investigating all the different scholarships available to you. All right, so now think about this. Like you're now a 12th grader, you're now a senior. All right, a lot of awesome things. It's fall 12. I'm a football fan. Hopefully we have football in the fall. All right, so I'm thinking and imagining all that. All right, so let's think about what you can start to expect in the fall of 12th grade. Okay. This is when you're going to want to start requesting your letters of recommendation from the people that you thought about, okay? And so we have here a recommendation guideline. Give at least 4 weeks notice for your recommendation letters. It's rude. 11th graders, it is rude to expect someone to write a letter of recommendation like in a week's time. It's rude. I'm gonna call it out. You can expect that adults, if you're like, man, I need this now. An adult will not jump because you say you need it now. All right. It is rude. All right. I'm going to say it again. It's rude. Don't do it. Okay. So give your adults that you're writing letter recommendations for, give them at least 4 weeks to write a nice letter of recommendation. Okay. Another thing to think about, super important. This is really important. October 1st is when the free FAFSA and WASP opens up, and that stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid, and that's going to be for students that have Social Security numbers, and WASP for Washington State Federal Aid. okay? And those are going to be for students who don't have social security numbers. It's really important to apply to as close as you can to October 1st, so you get the best financial aid package available to you, all right? I'm going to speak from my personal experience. It's been a long time since I've been in high school, but I was a kid that said, I'm going to wait. I got other things going on, and I didn't have a great federal aid package, hence why I have lots of student loans right now. So you don't want to be in that situation, okay? So you want to make sure that you apply as close as you can to October 1st. Learn from my mistake. All right, starting in November, early action and early decision applications are due. So here's the difference with early action, all right? That's so you can apply early, and then if you get accepted, you'll get accepted early, and it's just sort of a nice sort of thing that you can take off of your list. You're like, wow, this is what I have, and it can sort of guide your steps later on and what you do. And then early decision is basically you apply to the college, and then you're basically kind of creating a contract with them that basically says if you get accepted to that college, you will be going to that college. And that can only be for one college that you apply to, all right? Starting in November, school-based scholarship applications will start to be due, all right? So what's interesting about that is that's sort of due before admissions applications are due. And the reason being is what will happen is you'll apply, all right, for scholarship applications in November, and then they're going to create each college is going to create their own sort of financial aid package. And then they're going to deliver that to you with your acceptance letter around the same time, okay? And then you can expect sort of the FAFSA and WASP to sort of fill in the blanks as to where you might need financial assistance for tuition and things like that. So super important to pay attention to that due date. Next. Okay, winter of 12th grade. It's basketball season, super fun. Wrestling happens at Lincoln, all right, so good times, okay? So yeah, winter of 12th grade, you know, regular admission deadlines are from November to March. You start getting your applications in. Again, I'm just going to use our big schools in the state, University of Washington and Wazoo. They have very different due dates, all right? Again, University of Washington has a November 15 due date, and Washington State is March 22nd, and all other colleges in the state sort of come in, fill in those, are inside that deadline time period. February 1st, Seattle Promise deadline, super important. If you're a person that you're like, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for a big college. I want to stay local. I want to stay at my local colleges, the North, Seattle, Central, and South. Super awesome, important opportunity. If you're kind of thinking like, you know what, I want to stay close to home. I want to get some of my requirements, my prerequisites done before I start spending money on my major that I want to focus on. All right, use the Seattle Promise. All right, the Seattle Promise is an amazing partnership with Seattle Public Schools and the City of Seattle that basically says that you can take up to approximately 2 years of the local colleges and tuition free. So that's a really great resource. If you're also a person like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for college, this is also a really great spot to get some of those first 2 years of college done. And so you can have some time to earn some money so that your third and fourth year, you have more financial help going into those last 2 years. And then winter 12th grade, you're not going to stop. Keep continuing monitoring the different scholarships available for you, all right? Yeah, keep going, keep looking for all the different scholarships. You know, that's something you're not going to want to stop doing all year long. And next. Organize your transcript. So super important. A lot of you have gone to different high schools. You have taken coursework online outside of Lincoln High School. It's just really, or outside of Seattle Public Schools, really important to organize all those transcripts so that when it's time to apply, you can all send them all together and they're nice and neat. So that's something you're going to want to do in the wintertime. Okay, so spring 12th grade, I can feel, I can hear, I can see us at Memorial Stadium soon. It's going to be great. We're all going to be with a suit and tie, real nice. It's going to be really, really fun. Oh, Ms. Pacampra's looking at me like, what? Okay, again, continue applying and monitoring scholarships, all right? You're gonna wanna keep looking out because there's gonna be scholarships available still in the springtime that you can apply to your college experience or your college expenses. And then start to receive admissions decisions. So yeah, in the springtime, you'll start to hear all the acceptance letters that you get from all the different colleges and universities you apply to. Some things that you're gonna wanna think about is each college may give you a different sort of financial aid package. And sometimes that's a big part of you selecting a college or a university is if one college gives you a certain amount, a private school college might give you more. And so you're gonna have to make some decisions there. So yeah. May 1st, decision day, fun day, all right? That's the day you're gonna have to decide on where you're gonna wanna go, and you send your acceptance letter in or your word, and it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun day to celebrate with you all on what your next steps are in the next chapter of your life. And then there's going to be June, graduation. It's going to be so fun. I look so forward to that day, to celebrating with you all on that important benchmark in your life. And yeah, so FAFSA and WASFA, again, just to reiterate, on the left-hand side, you see that little box there. FAFSA is the financial aid for students with Social Security numbers. Okay, this you're going to have to put in a lot of information, and it takes a lot of time to fill these documents out. And so you're going to want to make sure that you have your family sort of financial information ready. And so you're going to have to work really closely with your family to get those documents filled out. And again, that opens up on October 1st. The WASFA, same thing. All right, a lot of you're gonna have to get your if you don't have a Social Security number, that's where you're gonna have to go to apply. And again, if you're wondering like, where do I go? Just Google FAFSA. Just Google WASFA. Search or Firefox, whatever you use for your search engine. All right, but yeah, those open up at October 1st, and you want to apply as soon as you can to that date, so you have the best financial aid package. All right, and I'm going to hand it over to Miss Pacampra.
Awesome. Hi everyone. Okay, we are hustling through this presentation. I want to acknowledge that. So let's collectively just take a deep breath and just in and out, because it's a lot of information we're throwing at you. We don't expect you to have it all memorized. Hopefully you're kind of taking a little bit of notes or noting what pieces you have more questions on. You will have an opportunity to ask questions, and we will support you, okay? So we're going to throw all this information out, and then we're going to sift it through in your brain later, and we'll support you as we figure it out. Scholarships. So this is what I like to call the pyramid of scholarships. And this should hopefully give you a little bit of a guideline about the types of scholarships that are out there and what you need to know about them. So first, we're going to start at the bottom of the pyramid. Let's look at our nationwide scholarships. These scholarships are, go ahead and click, Misty. These scholarships are the largest pool of applicants. So we're talking about nationwide. They're open to everybody. See that little guy? I'm using guy as a gender neutral term, but if you see the little guy at the bottom, that is you in this pool of applicants, okay? So it's big. Don't spend a lot of time on these. These are like, fill them out while you're watching an old movie with your siblings. Like, don't stress about these. They're basically a lottery, so don't worry about those. This is Coca-Cola. This is US Bank. This is like big, weird lottery type scholarships. Moving on to statewide. Statewide, the scholarships, you can find them through washboard.org. They are limited to Washington State residents, so the pool is a little bit smaller, but it's still open to the entire state. So you're still that little dude guy in there, but the pool is a little bit smaller. And those can be based on all kinds of things, but they are limited to just Washington State residents. College-based. So these are really specific to the universities, right? So private colleges will have more money to offer you. They will have bigger endowments. The next point is, go ahead. They're often based on merit. So what I mean by that is they are often based off of your GPA or your grades or specific like merit-based things that colleges want to see. Sometimes they can also be based off of your standing, like a diversity standing. Like a lot of colleges will have specific scholarships for like students who are Black or LGBT, but a lot of the times those are still merit-based. So you might not qualify even if you are fitting in the demographic that they're looking for. And then the last point is that they usually have deadlines that are before the application deadline. So these are often scholarships that are due before the application is even due. So you want to make sure that if you're looking at a college and it's expensive and there's a scholarship that you think you can qualify for, that you are applying for that scholarship before you even apply to the school. Community-based. I'm going to take a drink of water because water is good for you. All right. Community-based. These are going to be local to Seattle. They're going to be local to King County. They're going to be local to Wallingford. They are going to be your community-based scholarships. So the pool is much, much, much smaller than at the college or at the state or at the nation. Next point. These are going to be incredibly specific, and you will not qualify for most of them. So I'm putting that out there right now. But there are tons of them out there. And actually, SPS has an ongoing list, an ongoing scholarship list that they update every single month that has these community-based scholarships on there. I'll give you an example from my previous school. It was in Beaverton, Oregon. And one of my favorite scholarships was from the Beaverton Orchid Society. And all you had to do was write an essay about why you liked orchids, and you could get $500. So how many students do you think actually applied for that scholarship? I don't know, maybe 100? Like maybe at the most. So look out for those because those are really important. You can get a lot of money from your community just based off of who you are, what you're interested in, and your willingness to actually apply for them. Another point that I want to say about community-based that I didn't put on here is that they almost always require an essay. So just keep that in mind when you're like functioning out your time and you're trying to figure out how much time to put into these, you'll almost always have to write some kind of essay. And then lastly are your district and school-based scholarships. So SPS has some scholarships that are just for students that go to Seattle Public Schools. Most high schools have scholarships. We don't know what that looks like at Lincoln. We're still new. Maybe our alumni association will have one. We don't really know what that looks like. We haven't really had a chance to research what that might look like at Lincoln. But clearly that is a small pool, and so you will have the best chance at getting those. So so hopefully that is like a little bit of an introduction. And if you have questions about maybe how to approach them and things like that, feel free to reach out to us and we'll help you out. And here's just a quick list of resources. These links should be live, and we'll also send them out to you in a PDF so that you can access them. These are like just the top, I would say the top 6-ish resources. That one at the top is the monthly bulletin. You can go into that monthly bulletin right now and look at the scholarships that are available right now in the month of March and mark your calendar, and you can rest assured that most likely they'll be offered next year and the deadline will be the same. So you can be like, cool, in March, there's these 3. In February, I'm gonna put it on my calendar. I'm gonna start writing those essays. You'll be good to go looking ahead. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the application. So every application looks a little bit different, but they will have some kind of combination of the following: your personal info, your academic honors and achievements, which might be in the form of a resume. So some of these might be combined. You might have to give them a resume. Extracurricular activities, your essays, and then the next three depend. Letters of recommendation, not every school needs them or wants them or cares. Test scores, not every school needs them or wants them or cares. And your transcripts. Some schools will have you self-report your transcript. They don't actually want it until you're accepted. So that's something to keep in mind too as you're navigating. All right, letters of rec. We're getting a ton of questions from you guys about letters of rec. We will have a longer lesson coming later in the spring that Miss New is going to collaborate with us on, and I can't wait because I just love collaborating with Miss New. But we'll have a brag sheet. You guys will fill out that brag sheet. You will definitely make sure that you actually need them before you ask for them, okay? So if you're in a position right now where you're like, I don't know if, like, even which school I'm applying to, please don't ask for letters of rec yet. Wait until you actually need them. When you're asking for a letter of recommendation, make sure that you send a request first. Don't assume that it will get done. Please use professional language and a professional request, and include really important information in the request. So attach like your request, the information that you need. So when do you need it by? The colleges that you might need this for, and the completed brag sheet. So the brag sheet all filled out with all of the information, and your resume. And that will help us to write a really nice letter for you. Give 2 school weeks notice minimum. 4 is the ideal. Mr. Malaki touched on this earlier. It's rude to ask at the last minute, and we are not, like, we may not get to it. And I say school weeks notice because if we're going into winter break and you have a January 1st deadline and it's the Wednesday before winter break, guess what? I'm not writing that letter. I got a break, you got a break. I just booked flights last week, you guys. Like, I'm not available over winter break to write your letters of rec. So make sure that you understand the timeline of 2 school weeks notice minimum. And then afterwards, send a thank you, because it's nice and it's professional, and it will make me feel, I mean, I can tell you I've done this a lot. I've written hundreds of these before. I probably get a thank you from 10% of students, and let me tell you how much better I feel about the letter that I wrote when a student can take a moment to say thank you. All right, the essays, you guys, this is my favorite part. It's also the part that probably gives you the most anxiety, but I can tell you right now it's my favorite part, and I'm happy to help you. So we'll talk about this more in the fall, but here are like general tips, okay? Be self-centered. This is really, really important. This essay should be about you. It should not be about anything else but you. So if you're writing about a major event, write about its impact on you. If you're writing about another person, write about that person's impact on you. So, and these are often short, down a couple bullet points. It says 500 to 650 words. So you don't need a ton of flowery language. You just gotta like stick to the facts. I have a really good friend who worked in admissions for a long time, and we used to just get together and talk about, she would just tell me these stories of these essays that she read. She can boil down the most common essay topics to the big 3: the injury, the dead loved one, and the mission trip. Those 3 subjects, they're written about a lot, okay? So if you're going to write about those things, I would recommend thinking about them in a creative way and thinking about how they impact you. So if you're going to write about somebody that you care about that is not with us anymore, that is dead, then write about that person's impact on you. Tell it from a different perspective. Tell it in a different format. Don't, that person is really important to you and is unique to you, but that admissions officer is reading thousands of these. So just be really, really careful about your topic choice. Thirdly, make sure that you practice. So practice, outline, draft, edit. Let somebody that you trust read it. I'm happy to read it. I will read anything. It's my favorite thing to do. I will often give a lot of feedback So don't take that personally. Just know that I have a lot of practice doing this, and it's something that I really enjoy doing. Keep it to those word limits. When they look at your application, the application actually cuts off on their end. So whatever word limit you're at, if this isn't English where you might get extra credit for writing longer essays, like you really need to keep it under those limits. And don't overthink it. Be yourself. Be casual. The best essay that I ever read was about a student who got to have his first kiss with his crush in the 7th grade on stage in a rehearsal for a theater production, and it was just like really beautifully written, and it was really poignant, and it doesn't have to be like this big major event in your life. It doesn't have to be something that is like disastrous and traumatizing. It can just be something really, really simple that really means a lot to you. So anyway, sorry, I can talk about this all day. Okay, next slide. All right, so the Common App and the Coalition have already released their prompts for the year, which is really great because the colleges that use those 2 portals will choose which prompts they use. So you can go in right now today if you want to, and you can read the prompts, and you can start thinking about what you might write about. You don't have any control necessarily about what the colleges choose to put forward as what they want to know in your essay, but it can give you an idea of about what the portals are looking at as far as important things to write about and important things for you to write about, so that colleges get a little bit of a sense of who you are as a person. There are 2 websites right here, the Princeton Review and this Tufts article, that I think give really, really good advice. And so I would highly recommend kind of giving those a glance as you are drafting and practicing over the next 6 to 9 months or so. All right. Okay, SAT, ACT, AP scores. I'll tell you right now, we don't have a ton of updates as far as AP goes. They're looking at a June test date. I don't have the most updated information. AP teachers might, but I haven't heard anything. So I would say that your AP teacher is going to be the best person to ask about that, about when the test is actually happening. If for SAT and ACT scores, we're not having an 11th grade date for SAT, the district is looking at hosting one in September or October. So keep that in mind. If you are looking to take it somewhere else, you can. I don't really have a good sense of where they're being hosted. They're kind of all over, and they're popping up now that we're getting safer and coming back into person. They're popping up more and more. Here are 2 resources that you can look at, because we get a lot of questions about, are the colleges do they even care? What does test optional mean? Test optional means that you don't have to take the test in order to get in. So if you look at this website, fairtest.org, it has a continuously updated list of colleges that have gone test optional. The list is very long, you guys. So keep that in mind, bookmark it, keep, scrolling and updating, because the longer and longer this has gone on, and the longer and longer that our 11th graders have not had access to testing, the more colleges are saying, okay, we're okay for this coming year. The second point about AP test score equivalency, this is just a tool that I think is really cool that it might come in handy. You can use this to see what the equivalency of your score would be from an AP test at different colleges. So you can search by the test, and you could say, like, what did my AP Lang score get me? Or you can search by the college, and you can see, like, at the University of Washington, where is my AP Lang? Like, how can I use my AP Lang? What score should I be shooting for so that I can waive some of those first year requirements? It's a very cool tool. I would bookmark that one as well. All right, I'm going to pass this over to our brand new teammate, Miss Donato. She is joining us for the rest of the school year. She's covering last names A through G, and she's got a ton of knowledge and a lot to offer. And so I'm going to turn it over to her because she's been our go-to Naviance person so far.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Okay, my name is Miss Donato, and I have A through G, as you said. I know that we have a little bit of a limited time frame because y'all probably want to get to some lunch or something like that, I'm guessing. As Miss P said, please drink some water. Okay, getting to Naviance. I just want to say first, before I get this, like, please reach out to me by email or on Teams if you want to. I'm here for y'all. I've had a really great pleasure of meeting many of you already through Teams, and I'm just grateful to be at Lincoln. Okay, so for 11th grade, these are the big Naviance lessons. You just want to make sure that you finish the super match. That's really, really important to like help you set goals and steps aligned with gaining admission to college. If you're not really sure if you want to go to college or not, this is still a really great tool to like kind of explore some of your options and like really get into all of those things. And then next is the college career life readiness, kind of the like exploring the costs of college. And this, not only will you explore how much it costs, like how all these things like add up, but also some other ways you can pay. I think it's just really helpful to like understand all the different avenues, as we already have kind of gone over in this presentation, that you can pay for college. And then the other one's resume building. That one is really helpful no matter what you're planning to do after high school, and even during high school. Like these resumes, honestly, this is one of the best resume tools I've ever seen. And I really think it's great. I think you should try it out. And not only do I think you should, the graduation plan requires you to. So I need y'all to make sure that you're, getting on these Naviance lessons and getting them done because they're a part of your graduation requirements in your high school and beyond plan. All right. If you have any issues with, getting into any of these lessons or anything, please reach out to your counselor. That way we can make sure they're accessible for y'all. Okay. I'm just kind of gonna go over like a couple of things that we've already talked about. I'm saying like a lot, I'm realizing. The rising senior class of 2022. That is a mouthful. Wonderful. I'm so excited that you're here. Mark your calendar. We went over a lot of dates. Try to mark some of those dates in your calendar. Which one stood out to you? I need you to think about your high school and beyond plan. Think about Naviance. Think about how you're going to make sure you get that all checked off of your list. And I want you really, really hard, try this over the summer, to imagine all of your possibilities. Like, imagine, what could I do? Like, what am I interested in? Like, if you have a college essay idea come to your mind, you don't have to write that whole essay right then. Like, jot down a couple sticky notes. Get a little of your ideas out. Imagine everything that you can possibly do over the summer. All right, key takeaways. I want y'all to finish this year off strong. It's the last one you'll have on transcripts before you apply to college. I know that can be it's really difficult right now for a lot of y'all, and we're here for you. If you're having a hard time in any of your classes, if you're just having a hard time feeling motivated, please reach out. We're here to support you. I need y'all to pay attention to what each school you're applying to wants from you. That is so important. We already went over that so well. So just make sure that you really understand what they want. And then look at all of the different types of scholarships that are accessible all year. I think, Miss P said it really well, where she said, look at what the scholarships are listed like right now, so then you'll know what they're going to be like next year. Oh, my dog is having a little bit of a cough. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but he's right underneath me. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and go over essays again. Honestly, that was one of the best essay coverage I've ever seen in my life. So I can't say anymore. And then the FAFSA WASP, that opens October 1st. That's one of the key dates I want all of y'all to write down right now in some way, shape, or form. Put it on your computer, put it on a sticky note, whatever makes sense to you. Write that down because it's a really, really important date. And then again, finish your Naviance. Okay, does anyone else want to go live again?
Well, we can just unmute and say that the presentation we're done with our initial presentation. We are going to be sending a Microsoft form out to your mentorship teachers, and we'll be posting it in various places. So if you still have questions that are general questions, So not specific to you, but general questions about anything we touched on, you can submit that. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to assume, based off of things that we are hearing, that Wednesday's mentorship plan next week is a little up in the air. So instead of having another meeting, we're just going to be using those questions to write a frequently asked question sheet, and then we'll send it out for you guys to read through. If you have something that's more specific, or like maybe something that's unrelated to the topics here, then you can reach out to us directly. How does that sound, team?
Sounds excellent.
Sounds great to me.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for sticking with us, because I know we ran long and it's lunchtime. And yeah, we're gonna hang here for a few minutes, I think, and just see if any like last minute things get mentioned. And then you know what? I'll make an announcement with the form right now. How about that? If you guys want to stick around for like a minute, I'll put the form in the chat.
All right.
Yeah, the Q&A stays open even when we like close this out. So if you have any questions after I push this in button on the live, like you can still type them in the Q&A. It's still going to be open for y'all.
Thank you, juniors. Take care.
We miss you. Wish you could see your faces.
Oh my gosh, yes.
There's
Mr.
95 of you still here.
Ms. Donato, did we press stop?
I'm about to hit it right now. Thank
Okay.
y'all so much.
And
Bye. Take care.
bye, everyone.
Bye.